Hi there. Welcome to the closing bell on the 14th of June for me. And I'm a bit crook today. I was contemplating ditching this closing bell, but I like you guys so much. I'm whipping it up for you. Um, and today I'm just going to have a look at momentum and the idea being that market sort of goes through different periods of, waxing and waning of momentum. And there's times when it's, you feel it, you can attack, and there's times when you've got to be wary, and there's times when you're really backing off and, aware that things can go lower. And I'm just looking at the ASX 200, going back, on the weekly chart, going back to 2008. So we get to see a lot of data and get a sense of how this weekly momentum shifts and where it's sort of opportunity time, and how you can look at things and get a sense of what's going on. Because really, the last 4 months, this market has gone nowhere, right? So the ASX 200, this is the last 4 months trading. You can see absolutely dead as a doornail. That's after years of going sideways. So it's been a very difficult environment. There's basically not a lot of strong momentum out there, but there has been periods of momentum, hasn't there? So look, it's incredibly difficult market environment, but whether it's range trading or trending hard, it's all going through these periods of sort of strong weekly momentum, which then wanes. So how we want to sort of analyze that is looking at this moving average convergence divergence. So this bottom indicator here that you can see wavering around all over the place. And you know that I look at the weekly um, uh, moving averages that I use are, the 10 period exponential, which is the red line, and the blue line being the 20 period simple. And I use that across the weekly chart, monthly, even the daily. And the MACD is really looking at the relationship between the 10 period exponential and that 20 period simple. Because I've got a custom MACD signal. That's my own calculation because I have that slightly different approach. So what that is saying is that this MACD, the blue line, you can see there on the MACD, that's wavering as the distance between the 10 period exponential and the 20 period simple increases. So as the market takes off, the distance between the moving averages will increase, and that is being recorded by that moving average convergence divergence line. So moving averages separating, moving averages converging. The moving average has gone under, the 10 period is under and getting worse, and then converging back. So you get a sense of that, momentum shifting over time. And what I want you to note, first of all, is, when has it been a great time to, buy the market? Often it's after we've had periods of weakness, isn't it? And you're wanting to join as soon as that momentum turns up, aren't you? And how can you find the best time to capture these sort of weak periods, which then go back into periods of rallying? And, I think it captures it quite well if you look at when the market has been weak. So when this MACD is negative and saying the weekly trend is down, and what we look at is the moving average of that line. So if I was just to focus in on the MACD itself and create this black line, which is a moving average of that MACD, and you can see when things cross over is that sense of a shift when that blue line crosses back above the black line, so it goes back above the moving average, is sort of that sign or that moment to say momentum is possibly turning back up. And, you can start to look at opportunities as long as it stays positive, that, prices are possibly going to be heading north for the moment. So saying the weekly trend has turned up and sorry, not necessarily turned up yet, but the momentum has changed. And if we look back over time at that and just consider, um, what's gone on over this, period of, we've had lots of periods where it's been like a year or more of just selling off, or even shorter periods, but very sharp sell-offs. Now, if we were to say, you know, we're looking at this MACD, and when things go positive, especially when it's in negative territory, so these moments here when the MACD turns positive from a negative period, and certainly doesn't always work, does it? But if we're just going along and looking at all of these times when the MACD has turned positive on that weekly basis after a period of selling off, and had a look at what has happened in stocks after that, you'll see that there has been long periods of prices rallying. From that moment, we got months and months of rallying, not very much, like the market wasn't that fabulous, was it? But still, it's giving you a heads up when momentum turns, and when there's probably a higher probability that getting involved in the market from that point is going to give you higher probability that you'll have a good outcome over the following few months, which will give you a chance to, um, take profits or what have you, make some money, whatever it is. But just giving you that sense that that weekly momentum does shift, and it doesn't necessarily last a long time. Like it might be in the months or a year or two. And then that momentum can wane. So after you've had things, go on a nice run, which can go at different paces, but if you are aware of that weekly momentum turning down from a point where it's been strong, you'll see that gave you a bit of a heads up to say, watch out, things are turning down, momentum is waning. When it goes back through zero, it's definitely waning. That means the weekly trend has turned down. And then you're waiting for opportunities when that momentum is turning back up. So by looking at this weekly momentum and getting a sense of what stocks are doing, there are periods where, you can look back and get that sense that following this along would have been, really good for you to understand. There's a nice rally, momentum starts waning there, months and months of selling off, momentum turns up there, nice big rally, momentum turns down there, sell off for quite a while, momentum positive there, off we go for a run, momentum turns negative, smack, momentum turns positive, up it goes again. And, there can be periods when that momentum wanes, but it can still trend higher. So just because it's gone negative doesn't mean it's going to, do this. This was just a period where it did work perfectly, when the market was just, having a rally, then selling off, rally, sell off. But if a trend really starts to develop, what often happens is the momentum will wane for a while, but then turn positive again. And you can get a sense of that shifting fortunes of a market. If we look at this period when momentum was waning, but still positive, you can see the market basically went sideways there for quite a long period. And then we had the momentum turning back up again here. and off it went for another run within that uptrend, and then momentum turning negative there. So it was a bit all over the shop, but still you can get a sense of the hint that you're getting. So um, when things are positive and trending higher, you're often just aware that the momentum is waning because it might be about to tip over, but you're not saying that it's all over. You're saying, well, just be aware that we might be in for a time of sort of not going anywhere for the moment. And it's when momentum turns positive that we're feeling, confident that things could um, continue trending higher for the moment. So just bringing that idea along to what's been going on, and it's been, very difficult because we've been in just a really horrible range trading environment for years. So, often everything gets quite difficult in that sort of a period, but you can still see that the momentum turned negative. If we look at the negative and positive momentum here, you'll see there's been a nice strong run. Momentum negative there. Prices went sideways for a while. Momentum goes positive. Nice big run again. Momentum goes negative here. Then we start that slow process, selling off, going nowhere fast. A little dummy there. But then here it turns positive. We have a nice rally for a while. And then momentum turns negative and smack. That's when we had that big sell-off a few years ago. So, following along the positive momentum there, nice run for a while, negative momentum, just going nowhere. You can see here, just scrappy. Um, Basically, the trend is dead and price is just oscillating around that midpoint. That was about a year of just, horrible trading, no real momentum at all. And then we recently had that run from late last year. So really most of the run was late last year. And you can see that the last 4 months has seen nothing, right? Sideways price action. The weekly momentum turned down a few months ago, and I've been watching that and following it. That's just to say, where are we at right now? We're at a point where the weekly momentum is negative for now, but that doesn't mean it's not then going to turn up and be still in positive, trend, still longer term trend, monthly trend, still up. So if that weekly momentum can turn positive, no reason why the market can't break out and continue this sort of uptrend that has got going. Because, if we look at the way it's rallied, and this is a weekly chart of the ASX, if you're looking at this sort of trend, and if you're looking at that, but since mid 22, the market has actually been trending up. So it's looking sort of okay for now and would need to fall quite a long way to, um, really shift that idea that this trend is in place. So, we can still have quite a correction and still turn up again. So that sort of a scenario, if we were to, imagine that sort of thing, that would be something like this weekly momentum, having a bad little time, but then the momentum turning up, which would, confer with what we've seen so often, that is when you get the opportunity. That's when uh, you want to be attacking the market and saying, right, um, we've had the period of weak momentum and now it's time to buy, because if it does turn up, it can be even that, at least you get a few months of rallying. Even there, big sell-off, momentum turns up. Big sell-off, momentum turns up. So, this sort of process is going to continue on forever. And just understanding where you are at in it does help to just say, well, at the moment, I've got no real strong view. I just know that, things are looking good. Things are near the high still, can look fantastic quickly, but weekly momentum is down. So I'm just either expecting it to go sideways or down right now. And once that momentum turns up, though, it can easily look great again very quickly. So, I'm happy for the market to do whatever it wants to do. But you've just got to respect, how this momentum waxes and wanes, and know that when that momentum's positive, uh, is often the best periods in the market. If you can just be trading those and attacking the market when everything is in your favor and avoiding all of the crap as much as you can when things are saying, well, watch out. Imagine if you could just get rid of all of this stuff, all of these periods, just stay away and just be attacking the market during these periods. It still doesn't mean it's easy, but it just means you're going to have far more chance of getting involved and the market sort of going your way in that initial period, which gives you a chance to take some money off the table. So that's really all I wanted to cover today before I slip back into the bed and sniffle away. So hopefully that does give you a sense of where we're at. It's not saying it's time to run away or things aren't going to turn up and blast off like a rocket. It's just that we're in a period of indecision and sideways price action. We want to see how it plays out. Does it have a little sell-off, which then gives us a great buy signal? Or, does it go into something more? Because when it's negative, it can keep going and it can surprise how far it goes before you get the signal that it's turning up again. So you just want to respect that fact that we need this to play out before getting too excited about really attacking the market again. All right, well, I hope that's enough for you this week, and I will talk to you next week. Cheers.